Secret Love in Peach Blossom Land is a play about two plays. Two plays are mistakenly booked into a theater for a dress rehearsal, and they can't find the theater manager. And one is a tragedy and one is a comedy. And I've always wanted to put the two together on stage to see what it felt like. And the tragedy comes from my times, my country, my parents, the whole chaos of 1949 when the Chinese Civil War ended and the communists took over the mainland and the nationalists fled to Taiwan. And so many families and loved ones and lovers were broken up in that year. And they thought maybe they could get back together within a few months or a year, but turned out 40 years later they can finally communicate with each other. And this is a tragedy of our modern history. And we wrote about the play within the play Secret Love is about that. The play within the play Peach Blossom Land is a lampoon of probably one of the most famous pieces of classical Chinese literature called A Chronicle of the Peach Blossom Land, which is basically the utopia story, the Lost Horizon story. It's about a fisherman who chances upon a beautiful land and all of his troubles are forgotten, but then he can never find it again. And this, of course, it's a classic story that transcends boundaries of China or any country and sort of lives in all of our hearts, you know. So Secret Love in Peach Blossom Land is sort of, as an audience, you will see bits and pieces of each play because they're fighting for the stage. And then you'll see what happens. It's become a sort of a very iconic work in the Chinese world, perhaps the most well-known modern Chinese play to the over billion theater goers in China and Taiwan. We started it in Taiwan, and it's been performing many places since its inception in 1986. One of the main features of Secret Love in Peach Blossom Land is that this is a story that happens in the theater. So it's in the theater, it's about the theater, it's about theater people, and the location where it happens is precisely where it's being performed. So if we're performing in Beijing, China, then it's that theater. If we're performing at Ashland, it's that theater. So the two theater groups who are mistakenly booked into this theater would be the Bomer at Ashland, and mysteriously no one can find the theater manager or anyone who's willing to take responsibility for this mistaken booking. So I think this will be fun for a lot of people. And probably I'll be stepping on some people's toes, but I think to introduce a lot of the local culture, you know, and local culture is a very international culture, I find it, at Ashland. So we're thinking of making the director of Secret Love, who is a very important character in the play, within the play, he has been commissioned by the Oregon Shakespeare Festival he's an elderly Taiwanese author who is commissioned to write a semi-biographical play about himself. And he's given a mixed racial cast, and he can't handle it because he thinks they should all be Asian, you know, and things like that. I think the audiences at Ashland will appreciate. From what I'm understanding and feeling, being here at Ashland, we're a lot about these things. It's very important to the festival. And so to bring them out in this sort of a comic and interesting situation, I think would be fun for a lot of people. When I was doing graduate school at Berkeley about theater, I never thought tragedy and comedy were like opposites. You know, it's like you can say sugar and salt are opposites. I don't buy that. I don't think they are. I think they're different aspects of the experience of life. And I got my proof in that Greek tragedy. The three tragedies that make up actually not the whole experience, they're only 3/4 of it, because the complete Greek tragedy should have a satyr play at the end, the fourth. We don't have an existent whole set. We have the Oresteia, which has 3, but we don't have the satyr play for the Oresteia. So, but we do know that satyr plays were sort of lampooning of the tragedies before them. So for an audience to leave the theater after seeing a Greek tragedy and going home feeling very depressed and down because of all the stuff that's being thrown out at them during the tragedy. This was not how the Greeks left the theater. After that tragedy, then you would see people come out and sort of maybe it was sort of Saturday Night Live or something about lampooning the play that they just did, and I thought, wow, this is really incredible. The Japanese no play does the same thing. In the middle of this most serious and profound work, there is something called a kyogen, which is comic actors coming out and making fun of what was just said very seriously. And so, do you take it seriously or not? It's a different way of looking at the same material, and I think that's what we're trying to do in Secret Love and Peach Blossom Land. Actually, Bill Rauch and I have been in email contact for quite a few years, and the play was recommended to him many years ago through David Henry Hwang and Oscar Eustis at the Public Theater in New York. And actually, many people now are asking me, why has it taken it so long for this play or any of your plays to come to America in a professional production? And I say, I don't know. It's like everything has its time, I guess. And I think we finally got around to nailing it down. And exactly how it happened, it's hard to say. I guess there's cause and circumstance for everything. But finally, we're doing a professional production, the English language premiere of Secret Love and Peach Blossom Land, and I'm very excited.